Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Black Ops 4 video. In tonight's video, I think this is something that you guys are really gonna enjoy. This is the best rushing class setup in Black Ops 4 after the patch, and I've done some experimenting and messing around with the Spitfire because the Spitfire did receive some nerfs in this last update. However, I still think it's the best gun up close if you are trying to basically, you know, there are guns that will have a faster time to kill up close, but this one can actually do something past being right beside the enemy. You know, something like a shotgun can't do that, or if you throw on the Spitfire Wildfire, it becomes useless other than right up in front of them. Same with the SOG 9mm dual wield. However, I think that I've designed a very awesome rushing class setup, which gives you the freedom to sort of do what you want, and if you're a strong player, use a weapon and maneuver around and win a lot of gunfights. That's what we're going to talk about, give you guys the class setup, talk about some tips and tricks and all that in today's video, or tonight's video, depending on when you guys are watching this. If you guys could drop a like on this thing, it only takes half a second. I would very much appreciate that. It really only takes a half a second, and it does, you know, motivate the YouTuber. I really do appreciate it. So if you guys could smack that like button, we could hit 1,000 likes. That'd be absolutely awesome. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and not already subscribed. So the Spitfire, I'm sure everyone pretty much knows about it. This weapon was an absolute monster, and then after the nerfs, it got brought down a little bit. But where this weapon is still good is it's kind of like the Vesper from Black Ops 3. It has an over 1,000 fire rate, which in turn makes it a very fast time to kill. Right now, if you do run the Wildfire Operator mod on this thing, you can get up to, I believe, almost like a 1,500 fire rate, and increases the time to kill up close. However, then you basically sacrifice anything of range with that weapon. So I think that on this class up, especially with all the stuff you need to have on it to make this weapon even like decently usable, because of the nerfs to, like, you know, how the magazine works and the attachments and stuff. So we're gonna go into it and talk about it. But that is why I'm running with the Spitfire, is because of its fast fire rate, but also its fast fire rate, its good hip fire, but also its ability to be controlled at a not long range, but I would say a mid range. And I would use this setup on a map like you'll see me using this first gameplay on Summit, where it's I call it a rushing class setup because you can play with it super aggressive and run into their spawn, which is not always a good idea in this game because people have 150 health. Or you can also play it where you're just playing it in sort of tight corridors or close range engagement areas like Arsenal or Summit, or a lot of maps in this game have, and that's sort of how I play it. So I'll be rushing, but then if I'm 1 or 2 off my streak, because of course I'm running stim shot as well, so it's like 1,000 points for my first streak, I'm going to chill out and I'm going to play it a little bit safer and try to convert on that streak. So let's get right into the class up and talking about it. Now the first thing, of course, the Spitfire is the weapon, and we're going to run 3 attachments on this thing. Now originally I talked about how having Laser Sight 1 and Laser Sight 2 was really awesome with this weapon, and it is awesome. However, the facts are, just after these nerfs, the reload time and all that, it's kind of rough. It is kind of rough, and that's why I think that the necessary attachments that you have to run to make this thing still like a really good god gun in this game are these 3 attachments. Now the first one is going to be Laser Sight, and that is just because I think that it's important to have Laser Sight on this weapon. It adds a good ability to hip fire, and this weapon does have very nice hip fire just with Laser Sight 1 on it. Another thing is I'm running Stim Shot, which I usually run like ComSec device because I like to stack streaks, but of course for a best rushing class setup, you got to go with Stim Shot, and that's what I rock with on this one. So Laser Sight is good with Stim Shot because when you're sort of injecting yourself or healing yourself, you can also have your weapon in one hand and be spraying with that weapon, which for most of the time, if you're using like a standard AR or something, it's going to be very unreliable and miss a lot of shots. However, if you're using something like a Spitfire with a Laser Sight 1, Laser Sight 2 would be even better. However, that's, you know, with the class setup, I think the Laser Sight 1 is the right way to go, and that allows you to win a lot of gunfights. Now, the other 2 attachments are going to be Fast Mags and Extended Mags, just because before the patch, you probably could have got away with just one of them, but I really think that, I mean, you can see I'm rocking with both of them here, and I still only have 45 bullets and a fast reload, which 45 bullets does seem like a lot, but when your fire rate is this quick, you can see it burns through very quickly. But I think that's the right setup to run with Laser Sight, Extended Mags, and Fast Mags. And while Extended Mags and Fast Mags aren't really attachments that take you over and above, they are things that are sort of standard and are really needed to use on this weapon to make it even, you know, decently usable in this game and make it in a very good position. That guy was literally laying prone on B with a GKS. I could have easily won that gunfight if I had just noticed him. So that's what we have as far as the 3 attachments. Secondary, no secondary needed because of the fact that, well, this weapon is good at close range and, you know, mid SMG range, which is still sort of close range, and And the other thing is that, you know, you shouldn't really have a problem with getting caught with your pants down or whatever you call it when you're caught in a reload, because the reload time is very, very quickly and very, very, you know, it's just a quick little boop boop with the fast mags and the extended mags. Like, that's how we've set it up with the setup. Next is gear. Gear obviously is going to go with stim shot because it's on a rushing class setup. Comsec device is best for getting streaks, but on a rushing class setup, stim shot is 1000% the way to go, especially because of the fact that I talked about before with how it works with the laser sight. And then when we get into the attachments, this is where this class setup really gets unique. And I'm telling you guys, this is the best sort of rushing class setup that you can get. And when it comes down to the attachments, what I would recommend rocking as far as the attachments go would be, I would say to rock 2 perk 2s, which would be for your rushing setup, which is going to be Gung Ho and Dexterity as your perk 2. Gung Ho is pretty much necessary, and it's something that I rock with on really every single class setup in this game, just because of how strong it is getting your gun up out of a sprint and how important it is for that sort of stuff. And then as far as the other perk 2, why I double up with perk 2 is Dexterity. I always have trouble saying that, but that's a very good one because it allows you to sort of keep your accuracy up while maneuvering around. And once again, another something that might not be as usable, and you don't see me talk about Dexterity being that great of a perk or using it all the time because of course Gung Ho outclasses it. But when you pair the two together on a rushing class setup, and of course you can be jump shotting with this class setup, you can be hip fire spraying, you can be doing a lot of stuff, it makes it very, very awesome and very, very reliable when it comes down to that. And then you also have one more slot available, which honestly here I would probably say go with either, this one is up for option on this rushing class setup. You can basically, I would say, throw on another perk, and your options here are either Dead Silence, which gives you the so they can't hear you and track you on acoustic sensors. I think Dead Silence can be very, very good because if you're rushing and moving around, they're going to be hearing your footsteps quite a bit. However, on the other aspect of that, you might want to go with something in your first perk slot, like Attack Mask or even a Flak Jacket, to stay away from some stuff like that. Honestly, I think Dead Silence would be the way to go, but you can go with sort of whatever you want there. But that is the class setup, and that's what I think is the best rushing class setup to rock with in Black Ops 4, because it basically gets you covered in almost every single way, except dealing with, you know, a lot of the BS. However, you're going to have to deal with some sort of BS as far as, you know, having the not having Tac Mask or not having Flak Jacket, for the fact that you have a weapon that kills so unbelievably quickly, and you have a very, very strong SMG in this game. And that's what I think the Spitfire is. So after the nerfs, did the nerfs affect this weapon? Yeah, they did. They did a lot, and it's the same with like the Maddox and different stuff like that. Nerfs will nerf weapons down, but when weapons are so far ahead, sometimes it takes certain, you know, quite a few nerfs to bring them down. And while the Spitfire wasn't so far ahead before the patch update, I thought the SOG 9mm was the best SMG and the Spitfire was the second best. I still think the Spitfire is usable and has a place in this game. I saw a lot of people trashing it after the update because of course it's, you know, it takes a while to get used to. However, you can play it smart, and you can see here, you can either play full out rushing, or you can play sort of like I play on this map, where I'm just sort of chilling out because there's no reason for me to turn this corner here because I know people are going to be rushing me. There's not too much ways to go in Arsenal, so I decided to just chill out and sit for a minute while I have the sniper's nest up, hoping that the sniper's nest will be shooting at them out in the open, which is not as effective on this map, and it will bait them into this building here, which will be in turn, you know, some good kills for me. And also, when they hop on B, the good part about being in that spot is I can do a quick rotation right back, and then boom, hop right back into my spot, and then they're going to be running in for revenge. So you can see here, this is the play style that I would recommend playing. You can sort of play it like you play these corners and then rush when you get a chance. Right here, when I'm like 200 points off my streaks, I'm of course going to play it a little bit safer. But the reason I decided to push up on this guy is because I saw that that was an opportunity before multiple players, came in. And then once I'm in a spot where I have a drone squad, I'm 50 points off the next streak. It's all about stacking those streaks, which on a rushing class setup, you'll fail sometimes, but it is still, you know, nice to play it smart and to make sure you can convert as much as you can. Anyway, guys, I'll leave you with the rest of the gameplay here. Rainbow Spitfire. Hopefully this class setup did help you guys out. Once again, it is a pretty unique class setup, but it's the ultimate rushing setup. So it's all around rushing. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this. Drop a like, subscribe, check out some of my other vids, and I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
He's gone. Losing C. Enemy took Charlie.
I speak online. Scanning for open Throwing pots.
Hostile medic down. Enemy maneuver.
This is good as ours. Keep it tight and by the numbers. Taking C.
Q stores open.
Losing Alpha. Enemy has A.
Got him.
Losing B. Hostiles have taken out attack deploy beacon. Mission objectives green across the board.